It means to say that the child is inside the four wall. It is present inside now because it doesn't know how the world it is. The one in his 1942 collection, 20 love poems and a song of despair. If you have done a good thing will return to you. Or if you have done a bad thing, the bad thing will return to you. Hello everyone, I'm Babita Tamaya, lecturer, Department of English, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In my previous session, I had discussed about the gardener. So in this chapter, it was a healthy competition between Tamanna and Basavaya. Later on, it moved towards the rivalry between them. So in the beginning, everything looked like a healthy competition. Later on, it was towards the rivalry. So Tamanna faced lot of difficulties and he himself tried to emulate Basavaya in the other way. So he started singing songs in the form of ballads, and even Basavaya tried where he couldn't do it. At last, Basavaya was dead and Tamanna has to say his own story to the owner's wife because the owner was becoming lethargic day by day as he was not interested in his life. So this was all about the chapter The Gardener. In my today's session, I'll be discussing about the poem To the Food from Its Child. Every child is born creative. Every child is unique itself. In this poem, the poet says how the parents have to nurture their children. We cannot impose our ideas. The poem To the Food from Its Child is written by Paolo Neruda. Paolo is the pen name of Paolo Neruda. So he was a politician and he chose his pen name after the Czech poet. In 1971, Neruda won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And he was also recognized as a poet when he was a teenager. During his time of the teenage, at that time only, he was recognized as a poet. He wrote in a variety of styles, including poems, historical epics, over political manifesto, a prose of autobiography, and so on. Love poems such as the one in his 1942 collection, 20 love poems and a song of despair. Here in this poem, he gives us the philosophical way of representing how our life is. As a child, we are all born equally. Life has to go on because life is a journey with lots of expectations and reality. We all expect our life to be a fairy tale, but as we are not mature enough to understand the harsh realities of the society, so our life cannot be a fairy tale as we have expected or as we are expecting. We all are born equally. We all would have dreams. Somebody achieves success and some may not. Some may give up, some may not give up. So, striving and working hard is the only way to prove our success. As the poet goes, it's metaphor. In this poem, the poet uses food as a metaphor. So, the child has to face the sabbatical life from the birth till the old age. Irrespective of color, irrespective of caste, irrespective of gender, and irrespective of creed, everyone should suffer equally. Our life comprises of good and a bad thing equally. If you have done a good thing will return to you. Or if you have done a bad thing, the bad thing will return to you. So that is all about our life. Going through the line, the child's food is not yet aware it's a food and would like to be a butterfly or an apple. The tiny little toes or the feet, it doesn't know. The child is born, it doesn't know that what the world is. It thought that it could be a butterfly or an apple when it grows up. So is it the fact that it can be a butterfly or an apple? So for what the butterfly is compared here? What does butterfly means here? It means to say that when the child is born, The child thinks that he can be independent. He'll be having lots of freedom in his life. The butterfly is compared to a freedom or independence of the child, where the child can stand with his own foot without anyone's support or the help. When the child is born, it doesn't even know what the world is. And here, why the poet has used apple here? He might have used pineapple, grapes, banana, guava, whatever it is. But here, he just tried to use his apple here because the apple looks beautiful. So even the child, when it's born, the child thinks that my life would be beautiful like apple. So it feels that here the food is a metaphor here. It symbolizes the struggle. When the child is born, it thinks that it can live his life with freedom and independence without anyone's support, because it doesn't even know the harsh realities of the society. But in times, stones and bits of glass, streets, ladders, and the paths in the rough earth go on teaching the foot that it cannot fly. So until and unless you grow, you'll be not knowing what is the world. So here in the beginning, the child feels that it could be a butterfly or an apple when it grows. But once it starts growing, once it starts stepping its foot out of the house, it will get to know, no, it is not the society, or I cannot be a butterfly or an apple in my life. It is not so easy because it has to face all the bits and the glasses. It has to face the ladders and the streets. That is, it has too many paths where it has to cross each and every step to reach its success. It's not so easy what I had thought when I was born, because each and every step, it is too very difficult to achieve something in my life. So I have to work hard to grow in my life. And the paths in the rough air. So once it is born, the child will be not knowing how the surface or how the earth is. Once it starts stepping its foot one after the another, when it starts walking on the rough earth, it will get to know how difficult it is to get something in our life. Because when the child walks with the bare foot, what happens? A bits of glasses or the stones might prick it. That the child will get to know that the society is harsh in reality. It is not what I had taught earlier. Going on teaching the foot that it cannot fly. So at last the child realizes that it is not so easy for me to fly like a butterfly or be like a butterfly. Why the child feels that it cannot fly? Every child is born with a dream. The dream to fly high. But once it get to know the struggle in the society, the child feels that no, it is not possible for me to fly high as I have thought. Cannot be a fruit bulging on a branch. So it thought it can be a fruit on a branch, and later when it realizes, when it gets to know about the rough surface of the earth, the child feels that even I'll be not able to be a fruit on that branch also. That is the society. So there are four people to talk about us. When you have done something good, no one will say that he has achieved something in his life or he has done something good in his life. But if you have done anything bad, a small thing, what the people will do? They'll speak in different ways. They'll be not knowing what is the reality, but even then they will speak. That is the society we are living right now. So the poet says that why the society is speaking, why the four men speaks about us? Why do they want to speak about us? There is no answer for this, because the society we are living is in such a way. And the child feels that my life is not so easy as I have thought. I have to face the battle. The society is like a battle now. So I should be ready to face the battle to achieve something in my life. Moving further, then the child's foot is defeated, falls in the battle, is a prisoner, condemned to live in a shoe, bit by bit in the dark. It grows to know the world in its own way, out of touch with its fellow, enclosed, feeling out life like a blind man. So here, then the child's foot is defeated, falls in the battle. Here, the child realizes that it is not so very easy as I have thought about my life. I need to face the battle. I have to fight with the society where the four people are talking about us. So we have to fight. I need to fight with those people and come forward. And now I myself is like a prisoner. It means to say that the child is inside the four wall. It is prison inside now because it doesn't know how the world it is. Slowly the child is growing, but the child doesn't know completely about the world or the society. What are the difficulties? How the people are? I don't say that there are good people all over. There are good as well as bad people. But most of the time we find bad people every time. So here the child is just saying that I'm prison now. My life is prison. What I expected as my life, it is not in such a way. So always the expectations hurts. So your expectations will be something, but the reality is totally different. The same thing here with the child. When it was born, the child thought that it could be a butterfly or an apple. But when it starts growing, it realizes that no, whatever the expectations I had when I was born, it is totally different. Expectations always hurts. And I should fight the battle of this society. Condemned to live in a shoe, bit by bit in that dark. Condemned to live inside a shoe. So the shoe is a metaphor and it is compared to a society. So here the child says that the child is prisoned in the society. The society is like a prison for the child. So when your foot is inside the shoe, it is prison. You cannot see nothing outside the world. Everything is dark in color. So bit by bit in that dark, it means to say that when the foot is inside the shoes, so you cannot see anything outside the world. Here, the child is prisoned now. It has to face the battle. And the child says that now I'm prisoned. My life is like a battle. I'm into a dark room now. I cannot see the outside world because the child has started to grow. It is not matured enough to understand about the society. So the child feels that its life is prisoned. Bit by bit, it's prisoned. It grows to know the world in its own way, out of touch with its fellow, enclosed, feeling out life like a blind man. So it grows to know. Now the child has started to grow and it is bit mature enough to understand the reality of the society. So to know the world in its own way. So if I want to come out of this battle, I have to fight. I have to come out of a where I can choose or I can identify myself in the society. Out of touch with his fellow, enclosed, feeling out life like a blind man. So now the child feels that I'm blindfolded. My life is blindfolded because I'm into that kind of a society. And I myself should blindfold and take the orders of the society that how to face the battle in its life. So it says that now it is blindfold because the society, he has prison inside the society. So he is blind now. So he himself has to remove that blindfold and he has to face the society. He should be ready to face the society. And he says, now I myself is ready to face the society. That is the harsh realities of the society that the four people are talking around. So even I should be ready to face them. That is what the child feels here. So now the poet is talking about how the childhood would be. These soft nails of cords bunched together grow hard and change themselves into opaque substance, hard as horn, and the tiny petal toes of the child grow bunched and out of trim, take on the form of eyeless reptiles. So these soft nails of course bunched together. Soft nails, it means to say that the cuticles of the child. Cuticles, it means to say the nails of the small child. When you see the cuticles of the child, it will be the transparent, pinkish in color. So when the child is born, the cuticles will be pinkish in color. It is transparent. So my life is transparent and grow hard and change themselves. So when it starts to grow, when it comes to a maturity age, it starts to grow and it will get to know about the society. So now I am ready myself to face the battle or to move forward with the harsh realities of the society. Into opaque substance hard as on, and the tiny petal toes of the child grow bunched and out of trim. So now the tiny petal toe, the small tiny toes is ready to walk or move forward in the rough surface of the earth to face the battle. I'm ready now. I have to face the battle. Grow bunched and out of trim. Take on the form of eyeless reptiles with triangular heads like worms. So the child says that whatever the innocence I had or whatever the innocence I see, I should ignore all such things in my life. I should ignore and then I should move forward. Grow bunched and out of trim. Out of trim in the sense hard as on to the trim. So it is compared to the nature here. Hard and on is compared to the nature here. So grow bunched and out of trim. So the child says that now I'm ready to face the world. I've grown up. I'm matured enough to understand the realities of the life and the people in the society. I know how to face the realities or the harsh realities in my life. Take on the form of eyeless reptiles with triangular heads like worms. What the child says here, take the form of the eyeless reptiles. It means to say that I will follow the society. How the society is, in the same way even I will also fall. Because if I want to do something in my life, then I have to accept the society how the way it is. I have to move along with the same kind of a society. Triangular heads like worms, it means to say that with umpteen numbers of thoughts. So there are many thoughts. So if I want to utilize or if I want to create something in my life, then I have to follow with the same kind of the society with the harsh people. Later, they grow collapsed and are covered with the faint volcanoes of death. So later, it means to say that rough area or the rough surface. Now I'm ready to face the society or the rough surface and are covered with the faint volcanoes of death. The child says that I'm ready to face the hard society and I'm ready to pitch in also. So I'm matured enough now. So I want to pitch myself into the society, that is into the harsh realities of the society about the four people around me. A caressing, hard to accept, but this blind thing walks without respite, never stopping for hour after hour. To one foot, the other, now the man's, now the woman's. Up above, down below, through fields, mines, markets and ministries, backwards, far afield, inward, forward, this foot toils in its shoes. So what does these lines means here? The poet is still saying about its childhood. So the child is ready to pitch into the society, but this blind thing walks without respite, never stopping. So the child feels that he is imprisoned until it was inside the four walls of the society. Now the child has started to walk in a rough surface and it says that I'm ready to face the challenges. I'm ready to face the harsh realities of the society. with all the difficulties I face. So in the beginning, the child thought that it is very easy for me to be a butterfly or an apple. But now, when I got to know about the society, it is too very difficult for me to be a butterfly or an apple. I cannot be a butterfly or a bulge fruit on a branch. It is not so easy in this society to be a butterfly or an apple. Without respite, never stopping for hour after hour. Now the foot has started walking. So without respite and never stopping. Respite in the sense, I have started walking now. So I'll walk and walk and walk. I'll never stop anywhere for an hour after hour. After 1 hour to the other hour, I'll keep walking. I'll never stop anywhere in my life. The one foot, the other foot. Now the man's, now the women's. It is not only the child, it is the man as well as the woman should be equally in the society, should be treated equally in the society. So when the man walks, even the woman also walks along with them. Not only they, it is up, above, below, through the fields, mines, markets and ministries. Everywhere he starts to walk without stopping anywhere. Not only he says that it is only me, I want the man and the woman also to move forward along with me to know about the realities of the society. Far field, inward, backward. This foot toils in its shoes. It means to say that both man and the woman need to walk round the clock. When the man walks, even the child says the woman also should walk around the clock. And why there should be equality in the society. So, far afield, inward, forward, this foot toils in its shoes. So only the hard people who strive hard in their life, only they would be a successful person in the society. So I will work hard, I will strive a lot to be a successful one in my society. So now it is about the maturity. Now the child has grown into a maturity where it can understand each and everything of the society, the harsh realities of the society. Scaly, taking time to bear itself in love or sleep. It walks, they walk, until the whole man chooses to stop. So the child has started to walk in a rough surface and it says that I'll walk and walk, I'll never stop anywhere until the whole man chooses to stop. I want each and every man, when the child stop walking, until I'm buried, until I'm dead, till then I'll be keep walking. I'll be stopped only when I'm dead, when I'm buried into beneath the earth. Until then I keep walking. So when I stop, it will be my last breath. And then it descended underground, unaware, for there everything was dark. It never knew it had ceased to be a foot, or if they were burying it so that it could fly, or so that it could become an apple. And then it descended. Descended, it means to say that coming down. Descended is coming down. So when it comes down, when I'm into my last breath, when I'm about to die, until then I fight with the society. I'll face the battle of the society. So when the child is going to stop, when it is about to die, at that time I'll stop fighting or I'll stop facing the battle. Underground, unaware, for there everything was dark. So once you're dead, you will be buried and you're inside the darkness. So as I told previous, your present, your life is into darkness when you did not know the harsh reality of the life. Once you got to know that the society is this is the society we are living in. And again, when you're dead, again you're going into the darkness where your life is again with nothing. It never knew it has ceased to be a food. So once you're dead, you'll be not knowing that you're into the darkness. Your life is into the darkness again. Because when you're alive, at least you know that your world is full of dark with the evil people. But once you're dead, you'll be not knowing what is happening in the society or how the people are. Again, you'll be put into the blind, that is the blindness, or you will put again back to the darkness under the or beneath the earth. Or if they were burying it so that it could fly, or so that it could become an apple. So once we get a mortal death, again we are put into the darkness, and again we cannot think of becoming a butterfly or an apple. It's not at all possible. So that it cannot fly. Once we are dead, again we are into the darkness of the world. We are into that kind of a society where we will be not able to be a butterfly or an apple in our life. So here is the glossary, and I don't think so the meanings are so very difficult. Just have a look with these meanings. So from this poetry, you can expect 1 mark, 1 question, as well as 4 marks or 6 marks, 1 question. That's all for the day. I'll be back with another session with the chapter, I believe that books will never disappear. Until then, have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.